Hey everyone, this is Craig here again, and welcome back to another Quickstart tutorial. Well, in our last lesson, I kind of unpacked the 6 steps that you need to take to kind of create your list building system. So we're going to kind of move ahead with that, and today I'm going to show you how to set up an email list and create your web form. So let's go ahead and get started. And for our purposes, we're going to use Profollow, which is our private label version of Aweber, which has all the functions and features of Aweber. So I'm going to go ahead and log into our account. And this will bring up the main dashboard, which will show all the lists that we've currently set up for our particular business. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by going down to the bottom, and I'm going to select Create a New List. And I'm just going to take you through 3 simple steps that you will need to do to set up a new list within Profollow. So the first thing is Profollow automatically gives you a list name, which is this default and a big number. So you'll want to customize that and name it based on whatever the list might be. So let's call the list name Prospect List 1. And then you can give it a particular description if you want. This might be your particular prospect list connected to a certain squeeze page. So you can certainly write a description in there. I'll leave it blank for our purposes. And then you'll have your from name. So who you are, who you want people to see when you're sending them emails. That's the name that'll show up, and that will be the address that will show up as well. And then from there, you want to give your contact information. As a part of the CAN-SPAM law, you are required to give a physical address within your email. So you want to definitely put your address in there as well. And then the last step, if you choose, you can also have notifications sent to you every time a new subscriber is added to your list. Now, as you start to grow your list fairly quickly, that could really clog up your inbox. So you may or may not want to do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and click Save Settings. And then from there, we're going to move on to step 2, which is personalizing your list. And so this is where you put some branding in, whatever your company name is. Our company name is Internet Alchemy. I'll go ahead and put that in. And you might put your website. I'm going to put one of our websites, which is productlaunchformula.com. You put whatever particular website you want people to see. And then you include an email signature. It might be Jeff Walker, creator of Product Launch Formula. Or you could put your company name. You could put a particular URL that you want people to see. This will be the email signature that will automatically show up at the bottom of every one of your every one of your autoresponders and broadcasts. So go ahead and brand your email. You can also upload a logo to really brand your signature. You can do that as well. And then from there, you can also connect with your Twitter account, your Facebook account, so that you're syndicating those messages to your social network channels if you so choose. You can certainly do that by adding your Twitter credentials and your Facebook credentials there. And then at the bottom, you'll see the box is already selected that says include a web form. You definitely want to keep this box selected because the web form is what you're going to want to integrate onto your squeeze page on your website so that you can effectively add email addresses to your list here in Aweber. All right, so that's basically it for this step. I'm going to skip global text snippets. It's not really applicable for what we're talking about today. Then we'll save settings. And then we'll move on to the third step. And we talked about this in our last lesson about creating a verification email. So when you're creating a double opt-in process, you're going to have an email that will arrive before the person actually receives your bribe, your free offer. And so this is the confirmation message. And so you can totally edit everything here. So you might change it from confirm your subscription. They give you a couple different options. You could customize it, confirm your subscription to the 6 in 7 newsletter, which is one of Jeff's newsletters. Or you can customize it in whatever way. You just want to be as specific as possible so that when people see that email, they can remember that it's connected to you. And then you can edit this as well. You can put some information in here. What they give you is pretty generic, so you can be a little bit more personable. I'm just going to add this one here. And this is directly from Jeff's newsletter 6 and 7, which he talks about in the course. And I just put your subscription to 6 and 7 is almost ready to go. But first, you need to verify your subscription by following the directions below. And then from there, obviously, the person will need to click this link, and that will automatically add them to your email list and qualify. So this really helps you to build a qualified list. And then you can edit. You can put your signature in here as well. You can put a custom closing. You can put something personal, like we look forward to connecting with you. So you can customize this a bit so that it actually increases the chances that people will actually click on that particular link. And then from here, once someone actually clicks this link up here, when they get this email, you can actually send them to a customized page that you've created. Maybe that's the page where you give them your free offer, or you let them know the free offer is coming, or you include a video on that page, just as another touch point, another way to engage them. So you can certainly include a URL there as well. I'm going to leave it for now, but it's something you certainly want to do. So we'll go ahead and save settings. And actually, as a side, some people opt not to do that, and they'll just receive the automatic one through Aweber that says your subscription has been received. Check your inbox for the first message. And so they go and receive the very first message, which usually includes your free offer that you're providing, or your bribe. All right, so that takes you through the 3-step process to creating your list. You're done that part. I want to show you a couple other things within My Lists. And a really cool feature, and this is something you usually want to set up right at the beginning, is the automation rules within Aweber. So let's say you're setting up a buyer list. So the people that are going to be on this list will have purchased whatever product you have. And you want to, unsubscribe them from your prospect list, because you don't want to keep sending them mail if they've already purchased this particular product. And so this is where automation rules come into play. And so you can go and you can, set up an action. So you can put unsubscribe people from prospect list when they subscribe to another list. So when people go and buy something on another list, you would unsubscribe them from this prospect list, and you could set up the rule right here. Or maybe you want to add them to 2 lists. So when they subscribe to the prospect list, you also want to subscribe them to some master list that you have. Okay, so these automation rules are absolutely golden, and they will help you to really segment your lists and diminish any confusion people will have, especially if they become a buyer. You don't want to keep sending them the same offer and keeping them on a prospect list. So these automation rules will help you to really organize your list building efforts. Okay, so very, very important. You definitely want to check that out. That's under automation. All right, so that's basically the simple steps to setting up a list. I want to go over to web forms now. We're going to go and quickly create a web form. And again, the purpose of a web form is so that you can integrate the code from this web form onto a squeeze page so that it talks back to your program here at Aweber and adds those people to your email list. And so Aweber has some pretty cool features. I won't go through all of them here. You can actually do a nice cool design, pick your color schemes. They have some templates you can use. You can integrate your own templates as well. Really depends on the squeeze page program that you're using. And in the next lesson, I'm going to actually show you how to set up a squeeze page using Optimized Press, which has a lot of the branding and design elements included. So we're not going to actually use some of their design elements. We're just going to create a basic web form here. Okay, so in the design step, we basically want to determine do we want name and email? We can change. We can call this edit to call it, we could say first name as well. We may choose to delete it altogether and just have the email box. Depends on what your focus is and what your market is like. And you can even change up the text on the actual button. You could say free instant access or something like that. But again, that doesn't matter. If you're using tools like Optimized Press that have all the buttons and design elements included, then that will be done when you're setting up your squeeze page, which I'll show you in the next lesson. But if you're just using the Aweber form, you can certainly customize the button as well. And again, you can even edit the privacy statement. We respect your privacy. We will not spam you. Whatever you choose to use, you can totally customize that there as well. So that's designing the form. And again, we're going with a basic form because our design elements are included within Optimized Press. And so from there, same thing, you'll want to give it a specialized name. So it might be, let's call it squeeze page number 1. That's where it's going to be, the code is going to be inserted. You can integrate Facebook if you want. I'm not going to do that for our purposes today. And then from there, this is very important. You want to create a custom thank you page. So we go to you'll want to put a URL in there, and that's going to direct people to that page that gives them some instructions on what they do next. So you might remember from the last lesson, there was a page that I showed you that basically walk people through 3 steps. So you thank them for opting in today, let them know they're going to receive a verification email that's going to confirm their subscription, and then they're going to receive their free bribe. And that's where you would insert that custom page so people receive that, and you keep them engaged, you keep them on track with what the next step will be. All right, and then there's some advanced settings. I won't go into all those details, but what's going to happen is when people opt in and they verify, they confirm their subscription, then they're going to automatically be added to your welcome message, which I'll show you here in a moment. So we'll go ahead and save that web form, and then we'll jump over to step 3, which is to publish. And so a couple different options for publishing. The first one is that you will install the form yourself, or you can actually, they have a feature where you can actually just email it directly to your designer. If you're not doing the work on your squeeze page, integrating the code, then you can directly email it to your designer, or you can have Aweber host your form. And so we're going to go with number 1 here, because I want to show you what the code looks like. So now, many of you may be using different programs, or just setting up simple HTML squeeze pages. But for our purposes, we are showing you an example in the next lesson with Optimized Press. And Optimized Press only allows you to actually insert the raw HTML version. So that's the one we're going to use here. And that's the gobbledygook code that you'll receive. And so basically, you'll go ahead and copy that. And you'll, first of all, below here, you'll see this field is already selected that says include beautiful form styles. Unchecked to get unformatted basic forms. So you remember in the design area where you could actually create some cool designs right within Aweber. Well, because we're using Optimized Press, we don't need to do that. So we're not going to include any beautiful form styles. We're going to deselect that. We're going to go ahead and copy this, and eventually we're going to insert it into our squeeze page in our next lesson. All right, so those are some of the simple steps that you need to take to actually set up a web form so that you can get it ready to integrate into your squeeze page. All right, so that's it for this lesson. In our next lesson, I'm going to show you how to get the squeeze page set up and ready to go. All right, I'll see you in the next video here real soon.